coming today. I wanted to apologize. I know it's been a long morning. Wanted to go ahead and give some information on an officer-involved shooting that took place today. Before we get started, I wanted to say with me today is that I'm Assistant Chief Troy Gay, T-R-O-Y-G-A-Y. With me today is the command and executive staff, as well as members from the Office of Police Monitor, as well as the City Manager's Office. Wanted to give some quick details, and then I will go into a little bit more information and answer questions. This morning at 3:45, there was a call that came in to 911 from a gentleman that said that his wife was in distress and needed our assistance. He made a comment that he would like a mental health officer to come. At that point, we had a crisis intervention team officer that was in the area that said that she would respond to the call. At that point, we had officers responding to the call. At the same time, the gentleman, the husband, was giving us continued updates regarding his wife's behavior. It was very erratic, and he had a lot of concerns about her welfare. During the call, 911 did a great job and stayed on the line with the subject. He made a comment that at this point that his wife had a weapon. That call was updated. Before the officers arrived at 3:51, it was updated at 3:50 that the gun was involved. The officers then placed themselves several buildings away from 744 West William Cannon so that they could make a safe approach to the location. As they gathered and as they approached the apartment to where the subject was located, they quickly, a white female around 26 years of age, came out of the breezeway of apartment building number 14. She had a weapon in her hands. She extended the weapon towards the officers and said, shoot me, kill me." The officers were giving her verbal commands the whole time, telling her to drop the weapon. At that point, the female continued to come towards the officer. At that time, both officers shot at the female. The female then went down. The officers then tried to position themselves in a place to where they could see if she had the weapon anymore, if there was a continued threat. At that point, the female was still moving. The weapon was still underneath her at that time, and she had access to the weapon. So the female at that point was still a threat. The officers positioned themselves around to where that they could be in a safe location, but also to monitor the situation. At that point, they called for other officers to respond to create a react team where they could have a shield and actually approach the female in a safe way. They continued to give verbal commands to the female that was moving. The weapon was still underneath her. At the point when the officers had enough officers to actually approach the female continued to make comments such as "kill me" on the ground. As they were approaching her to disarm her at this point, the female had the weapon in her hand. It was pointed in the direction of the officers. One officer then shot several shots. At that point, they felt that there was no more threat. The weapon was away from the female. The officers were able to take the weapon into their possession. Immediately thereafter, the officers administered first aid, administered a tourniquet, and at that point EMS came in and then transported her to South Medical Hospital. Unfortunately, she was transported at 4:12. At 4:53, the suspect was pronounced at South Hospital of succumbing to her injuries. At this point, we do not have the exact placements of where the female was shot. We'll be releasing that at a later time. As in with any officer-involved shooting, is that there will be dual investigations, both on the criminal side with the Special Investigations Unit, as well as with the District Attorney's Office, as well as our administrative investigation with Internal Affairs, as well with the Office of Police Monitor. I can tell you that the suspect was a white female, 26 years of age. The officers involved, there were 2 officers. Both had 3 years of service on with our department. At this time, we will not be releasing the officer's name as well as the suspect's name. We'll be doing that at a later time. We were able to have audio of this incident, but no video, due to the placement of the vehicles, which were several buildings away. The audio captured, although it was a little broken, because it was several buildings away, but we did not get video. I did want to say that any time that we have a loss of life, it's a very, very tragic event. Our hearts, our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of the decedent, as well as the officers and their families as well. So at this time, we'll take questions.
Did it all happen over at the apartment complex? Because I noticed there's a tape here.
Yes, sir. It all took place at 744 West William Cannon. Yes, sir.
Have you had calls to that residence in the past?
We're not sure the history at this point, but at a later time we'll be releasing more information.
Are there any witnesses or to the incident that lived in the complex?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.